Cheating boyfriend left me broken after 3 years, so I confronted him for the truth. Now he's blocked me everywhere, and I'm struggling to move on while still worrying about him. I'm a 19-year-old woman, and I had been with my boyfriend, also 19, for about 3 years. He was my first real love, and our relationship was long distance. We met online, and before we started dating, we were really good friends. Growing up, I was surrounded by girls who always seemed to crave attention from guys and would brag about it in front of me. I wasn't exactly the most attractive one in the group, so I never got that kind of attention myself. It got to a point where I started feeling like I wanted to be around guys too, but not in a romantic or sexual way. All I really wanted was to have male friends. Nothing more. No dating, no hooking up, just simple friendships with guys. Back when my boyfriend and I were just friends, he noticed I hung out mostly with guys. Later on, he ended up labeling me as a hoe because of it. He said I was too open with them and wasn't as reserved as I should be. The truth was, they were just friends to me. I hadn't even held a guy's hand before, let alone done anything else. He compared me to himself, saying how he never wanted female attention and had always reserved himself for the right girl. 3 months into our relationship, he told me he was thinking of breaking up with me because of my past friendships with guys. But by that point, I was only talking to him. Once we started dating, I even deleted all my social media to focus on us. He knew he was my only friend. I begged him to stay, trying to convince him that I wasn't the person he thought I was. He decided to stay, and I spent months proving to him that I was loyal. A few months after that, the cheating started. He grew distant and cold, saying his exams were stressing him out. I believed him because, well, stress can do that to people, right? I made sure he knew I was there for him whenever he needed support, and I was. Through all his breakdowns, I stayed by his side. But then he started talking to other girls. He even got into a situationship with one of them, flirting and making little sexual jokes. I had no clue any of this was happening. After a few months of this, he just vanished with no explanation. He'd only message me back once after I'd spam him with 100 messages. This whole situation dragged on for about a month. I was already dealing with my own issues because of my exams, and I was going through a pretty bad breakdown. I kept begging him to be there for me, to comfort me, but he wasn't around. A few months later, he popped back into my life, saying his own life had been a mess, and he didn't want to pull me down with him. Once again, I believed him and let him back into my world. He showered me with love, and honestly, I was at my best when he was showing me that love. Then, in April 2024, I finally uncovered the cheating. My heart felt like it stopped. The shock hit me so hard I almost passed out. When I confronted him, he acted surprised and insisted it wasn't cheating. He even wrote me a goodbye message, saying that since I was jumping to conclusions, it'd be better if we just ended things. After that, we didn't speak for 3 months. Keep in mind, for the past 3 years, we had talked every single day. During those 3 months of silence, the pain was unbearable. I even thought about ending it all, but I couldn't. I had to keep going for my family's sake. Eventually, I pushed him to give me answers. He admitted that the reason he cheated was because he wanted to escape from me. And honestly, I get it. I was smothering him with love. I was incredibly clingy and attached because he seemed like the perfect guy. He was my first love, and I wanted to give him everything. I had convinced myself that this was my love story, and all I needed to do was focus on building a future with him. As I started digging deeper, I found even more things he had done, and my anger boiled over. I said some really hurtful things to him. Now, he's blocked me on almost every platform. I can't figure out what's wrong with me. He didn't do much for me, yet just having him in my life made me so incredibly happy. I wanted to give him everything, even if he wasn't giving anything in return. I also struggle with constant paranoia, fearing that something bad will happen to the people I care about. He lives far away, and I'm terrified that something awful could happen to him. It feels like I'm grieving, like I've lost my entire world, because that's what he was to me.